It's time to talk about fights. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of the MMA Huddle. We are going to be breaking down Reyes versus Prochazka. As you know, still a little 205 battle going down. Let me just quickly pop a little tweet out to let people know we are chatting about this. As always, I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed recently, all the people who joined in the conversation last week's podcast. This one, again, is going to be a bit of a blast. Looking forward to it. Big Willie style will be back soon. Like I said in previous podcasts, he's been a bit tied up with family, as in the additional family member he's got coming soon to join him and the missus. Amazing news. Couldn't be happier for him. So there's all that going on in his life. As you can imagine, he's a bit busy with that. If you haven't had children already, it's quite demanding. But let's jump into that shared. Wonderful. Now I'll just quickly jump into here because it's all about the social media side of things. Posting, sharing, liking, picking your nose, thumb up your bum, all that stuff. We'll quickly touch on last week's event as well, which was humongous. Mr. Jorge Masvidal getting sparked out was a bit of a shame. Absolutely gutted about that. I thought we would have got maybe a bit more of a contest. But again, as I stated before, Kamaru Usman is legitimately one of the best welterweights I've seen compete for as many years I've been following the sport, which is an extremely long time. Super impressed by Usman's performance. I was impressed by Valentina Shevchenko, which, to be fair, she is in a world of her own. But then Rose Namajunas, with that head kick, that was some beautiful kick in there. And obviously Chris Weidman with the leg break. Just insane moments of MMA happening that weekend. So fight fans were back in the crowd. I don't know what you all thought of watching the fans in the crowds and hearing the noise and the energy, especially when Bruce Buffett is talking. UFC Bet Experience, great to have you on, bro. Great to have you join us today. And it was madness. Some insane performances. What did you see in that fight card, bro, that stood out to you? Obviously, there was a fair few moments, but was anything particular that you saw that you thought was outstanding? And again, anyone who's tuning in, love to hear your thoughts on last week's card. I was blown away by some of the performances and the results. Fantastic weekend for fighting. It's a good way for the UFC to get that kind of momentum back with the crowd. It will kind of establish Dana White will feel more obliged to go to Florida or anywhere else that's allowing the potential for capacity crowds. I don't know what the situation is in the US with COVID or cases and numbers, but if it's on, it's happening. If you want to go, you go. But I'm very happy to just see fights, to be fair. Crowd or no crowd, I'm happy watching the fight goes down. We'll be breaking down, I'll be breaking down his fight card. I hope you will be joining me to break down the fight card. That's what I'm hoping for. Hope you guys join in. Adam, great to have you back, bro. Hope all going well with you. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, trying to fuck up so bad. Robberies, injuries, and big upsets. Mate, oh, man. Man, Zhang got hit so hard as well that she didn't know what day it was. Like, I don't think she had a clue what happened in the last probably 2 minutes leading up to that. You know, when that knockout just knocked her clean. If you recall when Bisping got knocked out by Dan Henderson, he mentioned as well that he got knocked out so hard, or the hit or the strike from Hendo that hard, that when he was in the shower afterwards, he thought he was getting ready to fight. That's how big that knockout and how much it knocked off his brain. So, man, it's crazy to watch it for many reasons. That Rose bout, do you see her standing there holding the crown at 115? Can she keep that title? Does Jessica go back down there? Does Joanna Jacek start trying to talk all big smack and try to get back into talks? I want Tatiana Suarez back kicking ass. There's a lot going on in that division, a lot of activity. I like the fact that there's stuff going on. Titles are moving hands. But ladies and gentlemen, I've got to say that I would be amazed if Chris Weidman gets a recovery from that leg break and comes back and is anywhere near the guy he was. I just don't see it. I don't see why he would bother. Why would you bother if you're Chris Weidman? But man, unlucky with that leg break. That was pretty nasty, pretty gnarly. It does make you think twice about throwing leg kicks, but yeah, guys and girls, insane fight card last week. There was a ton of moments on there to talk about. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and this fight card as well. I will in the 170 division. I was a bit frustrated that Dana said Colby's next for the title. Leon Edwards, in my opinion, should be getting the title shot if he beats. Who the hell's he going to fight next? He's got an easy opponent. I don't know. I kind of forgot who he's fighting now. Who did he get given? He got given an easier opponent. I say easier. That doesn't mean disrespectful for Leon Edwards, but he definitely got one of the easier picks to get a chance into fight for the UFC title. Let's see. Sorry, guys and girls. My mind has gone blank with who he's fighting next. Come on, give me his next fight. There he is. There we go. Leon Edwards. Oh, no, he's fought him. Let's see. Come on. Bloody internet not loading. Internet not working, guys and girls. Nate Diaz. That was it. I knew there was something easy for him to go with. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Nate Diaz, bro. That's an easy one. Like, I'm not being rude, but Nate is not a 170 natural when he fights at that weight class. Doesn't do well. Doesn't suit him well. Doesn't look good at 170. Never has. Never will. I don't understand it. He got absolutely battered by Rory McDonald. I see it happening again. I think Leon's going to pick him apart. Probably get maybe a stoppage potentially here and maybe get a shout out for a title fight. But why Colby's getting in there does my Bonson. Fresh blood, fresh names, please. But we're going to jump into this podcast now, breakdown. As always, hit that subscribe button, please. Hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds of your time to subscribe and like a video, and it makes a big, big difference for us as the channel for analytics within YouTube. So it's all about the algorithms and all that kind of stuff and how they promote the channel and people find the channel. It's more than I know, but apparently it makes a big difference. So if you get time, those 2 seconds, which are valuable seconds, please hit the buttons. It makes a big difference to me and Will. I'm appreciative. We love you all for doing that. We're going to kick down. Let's quickly make the little note. Remember, I'll make the little timestamps here because you've got your timestamp police out. They'll all kick off. 145 division. Luke Sanders, 145. You heard me correct. Felipe Colares. I don't know why it's at 145. I don't know if that's a typo. That's what I'm going off at the moment. Cool hands, Luke Sanders. Had a difficult outing when he fought Nathan Manis last time out when he got the stoppage there, but then he got obviously the win against Hannibal Rao. But before that, Felipe Colares, I'm not too sold on this kid. I am not sold on this kid at all, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's bang average fighter in the UFC. The Fatias fight, I didn't see much out of his skill set there. Peralta fight, I was dubious to split decision there. Montel Jackson, he just got handled well. I don't see anything great about Felipe Colares' skill set that makes me think he's going to do it amazing. Can't ever bet on Luke Sanders, Rogue Strummer. I will admit, I wouldn't bet on Luke Sanders. I'm with you on this. I cannot bet on Luke Sanders either. But I would certainly pick him in a bout rather than bet on him in a bout. I think he's probably on this fight. I think he should be getting a W here. I think he's got the hand power to really hurt Colares, and he's got the takedowns, and Luke Sanders got those takedowns he can get. To be fair, he lost to Andre Sukantov, which isn't the greatest thing. Getting submitted by Ronnie Yaya, those things happen. Alcantara can pull out little wonders, and he did get a beautiful knee ball. But as a whole, like Luke Sanders he's a decent fighter. I think he could be a lot better than he is. Colares is tough as hell, yeah. Sanders is just bad and below average for me. Woof. Here we go. Look at this one. Luke used to be kind of durable. Yeah, and hittable. I think time is starting to catch up on him. His chin got weak. Here we go, guys. Montel Jackson's miles above Luke Sanders, in my opinion. Montel Jackson's got a lot of potential, bro. I think he could be devastating in that division, yeah. Luke Sanders, though, for me, I do think, even though I don't think he's got, I don't think Colares, he is tough as hell, but I don't think he's got the power to possibly worry Luke Sanders. You know, I think that Luke, He'll have the speed in that explosive movement. I think he might wrestle a bit more in this because I saw that with Colares, there's opportunities there to get him on the ground, get him on his back, and just get that clock ticking over. I think he could certainly dominate top control. I think he can out-wrestle him, land some strikes to get the takedowns, close that distance, close that range. I'm kind of swaying towards Luke Sanders on this one. I'm just not. I don't think Colares is that good. I didn't think much of Peralta either that he beat. I think even Luke Sanders, guys, I think Luke Sanders would do okay in like the Bellator or Titan FC. He'd be doing all right. And like you say, guys, I don't think either of them are great fighters. I just think Luke Sanders the best of the bad bunch between them two. Definitely not a big worry in this fight. You're right. I just don't like. Yeah, I wouldn't bet Luke, even if his odds were like plus 300. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot barge pole. But I will touch Luke on this fight for the pick. And that is about it. I ain't going nowhere near in any other way in this fight because, like you say, guys, it's not worth it. It's not worth going to. But we're going to go to the 185-pound division. KB Bhullar against Andreas Michailidis. Now, KB Bhullar, I was kind of surprised how he did against Tom Breeze. I think I remember me and Will picked Tom Breeze, but we weren't uber confident due to the fact that the psychological barriers that Tom Breeze seems to have these days in MMA. Seems to come into fights and he's not overconfident. He's not anywhere near his ability that he has. The dude could be devastating, but he just doesn't do it. I don't know what's up with him. So I was dubious on it. Watching the tape of KB, I thought he looked okay. Nice striking, clean enough. His opponents, like I say, were hit and miss. They were like 500 fighters, nothing out of this world, no tough opponents. So it was hard to really judge what he could do against the talent. And Tom Breeze kind of turned up that day and really just, cracked out that jab, knocked him on his ass, and just took it away from there. And it looked solid. Andreas, on the other hand, he stepped into the UFC at light heavyweight, jumped into that bout. He was meant to fight in Cage Warriors, but that got cancelled due to COVID, and he got the step up. And prior to that, he's had like some catchweight fights. He fought on Titan FC at middleweight, and that's where you'll definitely see the better of him at middleweight, Andreas. I think definitely at middleweight, it's the perfect weight class for him. I feel maybe light heavyweight, he's kind of that middle ground of a 195er, but a 205. It's not the best division for him. He's got explosive kind of spinning heel kicks that he can do. I thought with Medeskis, man, for the round that we got, it looked good. There was dubious questions to strikes on the back of the head. I agree. There was dubious questions about if it was a clean strike or a clean elbow to the skull or not. And he obviously was hurt. The referee stopped it. But by as a whole, I thought he held himself well in that fight. I thought he did good. I thought he was solid at 180, the 205. But KB last performance was in debut, and he got caught real early, while Isner was there. But Andreas' last fight was a weird one as well. Yeah, it was a weird one, bro, because I just feel like, did he get struck in the back of the head? Should you have given him a chance to recover? The referee didn't call it, but I don't know if the referee saw the strikes properly. Anyway, I think this will be actually quite a fun fight. I think KB Bhullar's going to try and be the kind of assassin. He's going to be smooth, trying to be an operator with the striking in his hands. You're going to have Andreas being the kind of forward aggressive striker. That's what he likes to do. He likes to use his hands, likes to strike with his hands, likes to throw the kicks, get that in there. And I think that's what we're going to see in this fight. We're going to see Michailidis coming aggressive, and I think he's going to have a real big problem. Yeah, I know, the cage door open. Yeah, shocker, mate, wasn't it? Because he was stumbling to get up, and he kind of was. I think he was hoping he could use the cage wall to get himself recover a little bit and get himself up. And then the referee must have thought, might have fallen over. That's it. But don't have eyes in the back of your head, do you? But anyway, it's one of those things that I think in this fight, I'm actually swaying towards Andreas Michailidis here. I think he could actually do well in this fight. I think he could do damage. He's got a good output. He's got the takedowns as well, which KB could have a problem with, especially if Andreas feels that he's not getting the striking in there because of the range difference that they have. If he feels that maybe he's a bit short on his strikes, he might operate a takedown operation here. Get the points on the board. One thing you want to do if you're both fighters, is get a W. No matter what, you want to at least get one W in the UFC to start off with to get the ball rolling. You don't want to be 0-2 going into your third fight thinking, if I lose this, I'm out. I've got to go balls to walls. At least if you get that one win, you've put yourself in a better place. I'm actually going to go with Michailidis here. I think he can get the win here. I think he's got the striking ability and the takedown combination. For me, KB seems a bit suave with striking. The guys he's fought are a bit questionable, some of them are, and I think that he's not fought the guys that could cause him problems, especially with he's had, I think, two decisions and the rest of them are one round stoppages. I think KB is going to have a bit of a shock with the aggressiveness that Andreas will bring to the table. I don't trust KB. Michailidis is more of a dog probably and a better athlete. Yeah, Michailidis, I think, is an athlete. He's very good. His athleticism is really surprisingly good for someone that size. Really quick, really fast twitch muscle fibers that fly off. And yeah, KB, I'm not confident on him yet. I'm not saying he couldn't go in the UFC in a couple of times. He could win next fight. He could whatever he could do. But at the moment, I'm a bit dubious too, bro. We're going to go to the 115-pound division next, where we have Sam Hughes taking on a fighter, which I'm a big fan of anyway because of a beautiful Muay Thai that she brings to the fight game. Loma Lookboonmee, like she is beautiful to watch when you watch her in MMA, even in Muay Thai, she's a beautiful fighter there. But her clinch game is powerful. She can get fantastic elbows and knees, really good control. She's strong as an ox. She showed that in her fights. You know, when she's clinching up with the likes of Jin Yu Fry, who's a strong girl in her own right, and she's really controlling that. Angela Hill was a good back and forth. Alexa Abul, she was a girl that she had a good time with. Really all-round solid fighters. Sam Hughes coming into the UFC and making a debut. Not making a debut, sorry. Second fight, she fought Tecia Torres on short notice, I believe it was. Eye injury stopped the fight. And I don't know, I think she got scratched in the eye, if I recall, because it was caught. She was speaking to a corner, and I think a corner said no, or the doctor said no. One of the two. Either way, the fight got stopped. But in that fight, I've got to be honest with you, Tecia Torres was having her way. She was landing the better strikes, far better range control, and Sam just didn't really get looking. Like, she fought an LFA against Danielle Hindley. She had a guillotine stoppage there. She looked okay in that fight, but again, I think that short notice opportunity she got in, I don't know if she's ready for someone like Loma. I think Loma is way above her level on a striking kind of basis. Luma's shown as well that she's growing and developing a wrestling game. All Loma has to do is defend takedowns. She doesn't have to be the best wrestler. If she can defend a takedown and know how to get up from a takedown, that's really all she needs to worry about. She could obviously add submissions to a game. I'm not saying she can't do that. But if you're like a Damian Maia, but role reversal on the feet with your hands and you're an elite striker, you're going to just do everything you can to stay on the feet. And I think Sam Hughes is going to have a really tough time getting a fight to the ground because unless she gets a clean double leg, she's going to end up going into the cage. And if she's getting on the cage with Luma's going to fight those underhooks, which in Muay Thai is something that you can do really well. Those pummeling is huge in Muay Thai, so she'll win a pummel battle. I think she'll be able to reverse her. I think she can just, as a whole, Loma can get the win with the striking, the combinations, and just the all-round skill set. I think Luma's going to leaps above. I think she'll get a dominant, like 30-27, if not a 30-26 decision here. I don't know how you guys think about Sam Hughes. I don't think she's a bad girl, but I think she's just early. It's too early for her, bless. I think she needs to develop on the regional scene more. She definitely, especially, being in early career in MMA, coming in, you're 4-1, you get your debut at 5-1 UFC. Next day fighting UFC against Tecia Torres, who's a vastly more experienced fighter. It's a tough one. It is a tough one to go with. So I just think Sam's in a rough spot here in this one. I just don't see it going much further than that. And next up, we're going to go to the 145-pound division. I'm just going to quickly make a little marker there for those timings. I don't know much about Sam Hughes, but I'm high and low. Brother, I'm high and low too. I think she's a wicked little fighter. In fact, I just love watching her fight, bro. Like I said, I think she's a cracking wee fighter. I like Loma here, but women's MMA heavy favorite. Not sure if the price worth it in case Sam gets takedown. She's shown us she's got good takedown defense, and that's something that Loma admitted. She admits she's doing wrestling these days. She is growing a lot more with the wrestling, taking like the conscious effort to put into wrestling, as she did with Muay Thai. So she's not slacking off on a Muay Thai, but she definitely put more hours into the wrestling to try and bring that up a bit more to a level that can help her release her Muay Thai. Rogues from it, I suggest get on Fight Pass, YouTube, mate. There's a couple of fights out there you can find of her. I think it'll help you out a little bit too. So definitely jump in there. Next up, like I said, we have in the 145 division is Kai Kamaka, the third. Do I have to say the third or Kai Kamaka against TJ Brown? I suppose you have to say the third, but Kai Kamaka, right? That's what you're getting. Kai Kamaka. Yeah, it's an all right fight. She has got good hips, bro. Yeah, she has. Considering the Muay Thai, it's those swiveling, those hips and power. It's all there in the legs. Yeah, this one's an okay fight. It's a bang average kind of fight for the division. It's definitely the guys in the lower end of that division trying to break through to kind of get themselves somewhere in a place where they'll get a guy who's got a bit of a name to them. TJ Brown in a tough spot, big time. This is a fight that TJ Brown has to pull out of. Let me just adjust that camera slightly. There you go. TJ Brown definitely has to pull this out a bit more. He has to pull his foot out. He cannot mess this up. Do I have to say the third? I don't. It's a fight. I will admit, Kamaka is tough, can take a crack, and he's got a wicked output. The Jonathan Pearce fight, obviously, he got stopped in that fight, but with the Tony Kelly fight, the dude looked phenomenal. Like, I was hugely impressed by Kamaka's skill set in that fight. I thought he looked great on the striking. I thought he was quick. I thought he had great hands. TJ Brown, again, kind of hard-nosed fighter, but man, the Jordan Griffin fight, caught in the guillotine, then the Danny Chavez fight, got a decision lost there. He's in a really hard spot. UFC contract. He's got one chance to win it. He's fighting a guy who's tough-nosed, dogged, and puts out 3 hard rounds. It's going to be a tough one for TJ to get the win here. Fight don't go to distance. Look at like the right spot. Yeah, I think so too. I don't think it goes distance. I don't think TJ Brown can afford to risk it going to the judges unless he's on top for 3 whole rounds. And again, I don't think he'll be on the top of the fight for 3 whole rounds. I think that, Kamaka could definitely cause problems in the feet, hurt Brown. I think that Brown's going to have a tough time with the onslaught that Kamaka brings. I think he'll tire from the striking exchanges, the aggressiveness that Kamaka can bring. Obviously, for TJ Brown, he has to get the W. So that also implies that if you go to distance, the judges don't always get it right, but there's a chance that judges can get it wrong. And if you lose that because of a poor decision, that's you out the door. The UFC don't care about the decision necessarily. With Kamaka, on the other hand, he knows that his opponent maybe has to go for the finish. So there's going to be opportunities. So Kamaka can maybe place himself in the position of the counter side of things, wait for the opportunities to arise with TJ, and pop and crack him and stop him. So there's a lot going on here. And Richard Cruz Brown is with Glory MMA. That will help him a lot with his striking. Richard, I agree. Glory MMA, James Krause will have a game plan for him to help structure everything. And that's a big thing. But you've got to remember, one of the issues you have with it, it's time. How long does a fighter need a new training camp with a new coach, new training partners to really apply the new skill set that they're going to learn there? I always feel like you need maybe 2. I don't want to say 2 fight camps, but you effectively need maybe 6 to 12 months to get that going, because it's drilling muscle memory. It's drilling new techniques. It's just drilling all these new movements. Now, he's not fought in 8 months now, I think it is, for TJ. So I'm not sure how long he's been at Glory MMA. I'm not sure how long he's been training there. But if, for example, it's been at 8 months, that's not too bad then. We might be able to see some of the new skill sets from him. With Kamaka, on the other hand, we know what we're going to get with the kid. He's got 3 rounds in him. He can do the grappling, but he can also do the striking. And I think that for me, if I'm Kamaka, I'm going to take the counter-striking game. I'm going to let TJ put himself in the position because he's the one who has to fight to lose. But Kamaka, I don't think He will. He's too aggressive. He just likes to bang. He likes to entertain. He seems like he's one of those kind of guys who likes to fight. I'm going to go Kamaka on this one. I'm not uber confident on the pick, only because you got a TJ Brown, 2 losses, last fight in the UFC, last chance to stay in the UFC. He has to get a W. And when you've got that, some guys get that fire inside of them, and they're just like, fuck it, I'm going for it. Fuck this. And that's it. They just go balls to the walls. And then TJ can just bring out this uber Seon kind of dude and just get this fight and put Kamaka to sleep. I'm not saying he can't do that, but I'm going to go from a kind of thinking out loud context. I'm going for a stylistic point of view, going for a skill set point of view. I'm going to go with Kamaka. I think that he can get a W. I think he can certainly get the win here. Let's go to their comments there. Kamaka, boom. There we go. TJ Brown. He might not be in the UFC next time we see him. Again, next up we have in the 145 division, Gabriel Benítez against one of the former opponents for Kamaka, Jonathan Pearce. Now, I've just talked about Kamaka losing Jonathan Pearce, and Jonathan Pearce got a good win against Kamaka. Good finish, good stoppage, well done. Kudos to him. Fought that fight really well. Joe Lozon fight, on the other hand, got battered. So to be fair to the kid, when on Dana White Contender Series, UFC threw him in the deep end, went, right, cool, you want to get Joe Lozon, who's on the tail end. And this is back in 2019. He's on the tail end. You got a chance to get a W, get a good name. That maybe gets Joe Lozon out the door. And UFC can start working and building this kid. Got the loss. Joe Lozon looked phenomenal, to be fair. He did look freaking awesome. Didn't come back for a year. Fought Kamaka. And now he's back again. So he's having his quite big breaks, Jonathan Pearce. But, you know, it's okay. Jonathan Pearce got dropped by Joe Lozon, though. He did. But to be fair, Adam, Joe Lozon looked fire in that fight. Like, that kid, like, Joe Lozon looked possessed, man. He looked so goddamn good. Like, the pair of them just went at each other. I thought Joe Lozon just kind of went old school with that kind of grit and determination, man. He did look, like I said, I think he looked tremendous in that moment. And to be fair to Joe Lozon, that's his last win. You know, he went out there, got that win, and happy days, and can't knock him for that. For me, Jonathan Pearce, like you say, because he did get stopped. Kamaka fight, he fought well. He was very tactical here in this one. He does like to stand and bang. He fought Demir Ferhatovic in Bellator. I remember speaking to Demir back in Valor days. This is going back a couple of years back. But if you look before that, he fought on Valor. He lost submissions. He lost some decisions. He is beatable. There is holes in his game. You can get to the kid. Jonathan Pearce isn't a solid fighter all around. I think Gabriel Benítez. I think this is going to be a good back and forth. For me, Gabriel Benítez, Omar Morales, fun fight that was. Like the back and forth battle between the two of them on the striking perspective. Enjoyed it. Sadiq Youssef, savage. Youssef, power like he's got cannons in his hand. He was tremendous there. Barzola loss. You can't look too much into that. Barzola's just a high-level grappler. If he wants to apply that game and he applies it properly, he'll beat a lot of guys all the time. But Benítez, for me, Justin James fight, that knee to the body was tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. And even I winced when I watched it back again. It was absolutely gnarly. He beat Herberto. No one's really bothered. Jason Knight, good fun fight. I think that Gabriel Benítez is a tough dogged dude. He can get in your face. He's got those long legs. He's got those kicks. He can get striking well. I think Jonathan Pearce is going to be in for a bit of a war here, and I think he'll have a tough time with it. I think looking at the bout, I'm kind of swaying towards Benítez here. I just think a combination of the experience that Benítez has in the UFC and the kind of caliber of guys he's fought, definitely fought the higher level guys. He's fought the likes of your Andre Phillies. He's fought, like I say, your Barzolas, your Yusufs. He's fought the high caliber guys. I think Jonathan's going to have a tough fight. I think it's going to be a good one. No, I think we're going to maybe a 3-rounder decision. I think we're going to see two dudes with busted up faces because Benítez gets hit, man, but he doesn't stop. He's a tough guy. He can go 3 rounds. I like him a lot. Yeah, Mowgli for sure. Super underrated in my opinion. Definitely raging. He is, man. He is. I think he's not bad at all. I do like what Mowgli can bring. I just feel that sometimes I just think his IQ, fight IQ maybe lets him down at times. Gabriel should win. I just hope he won't get caught yet with one of his brawls that he loves so much. That's what I'm saying, bro. I think he could get there, but he just needs to improve the fight IQ. Needs to realize that not every fight has to be a war to entertain for you to either get viewers, to get UFC to keep you on board, etc. You can fight smart and you can still win. I just wish he would do that a little bit more often. I think the benefits he would reap would be insane. It's just one of those things, isn't it? I just think, I hope he gets the win. That's what I'm going for anyway. I'm going for Mowgli as well, brother. Let's do a quick one here. So, next fight up, we have an 115-pound division. Now, I know you need to all relax. Take a moment. I know you're all excited. That Randa Markos is fighting again. Randa Markos, sorry, she's back again fighting. I know the pound-for-pound queen of the 115-pound division is back. Yeah, she's back against Luna Carolina. Wow, I was stoked to hear that Randa Markos wasn't caught from the UFC. I'm so happy that they kept her on to fight again. Anyway, so Randa Markos is fine. She's on currently a free loss. She's on free loss to a name. We know what Randa Markos brings. She's got a kind of funky style of striking. Hands are okay. She's very durable. She's got a good output. Susceptible to arm bars, it seems. But she's an all-round game. She's kind of bang average. And the record speaks for itself. When you're 10-10, kind of says it all. I don't really see her doing much in this fight. I think that, Luna Carolina got caught by Ariana Lipski with a knee bar, because I think everyone would get caught by a knee bar by Lipski. What is Lipski doing going for a knee bar? Where did that come from? Oh, girl pulled that one out of the hat, and that was tremendous. Great, wonderful to see that knee bar. I like to see the versatility and the skill set opened up, and that was beautiful to watch. But if you look at the Priscilla Coquillera fight, I thought Luana Carolina for a debut against a girl who's just kind of dogged and tough. I thought she did well in that fight. I thought her striking wasn't too bad. I think in this fight again, I think she could do better. Hang on a minute. I'm getting mixed up here. Sorry, not Carolina. Luana Pinheiro. I'm getting mixed up with the fighters here because there's two Luanas on the card. My mistake. Luana Pinheiro is from the Contender Series and very popular on social media. Very popular on social media. 8-1 record, and she is coming in after a beautiful stoppage against Stephanie Frosto, who wasn't great in my opinion. I think she was a tremendous athlete, but she got on Dana White Contender Series somehow, whether it even set up Luna for a UFC contract. If you look at Luna, she fought on Brave, and she looked solid in those fights against like Helen Harper, Elaine Leal. She fought some good names there, got solid wins. Only losses a split decision. And she's got wicked hands. She's got submissions in her back pocket. I think that, yeah, man, that was rotten, that knee bar. Yeah, it was pretty rough. Yeah, I think Luna Pinheiro, she's got this in the bag. I don't see why she should lose them at Randa Markos. I think she's got submissions, which could cause Randa problems if she goes for the takedowns, because you've got the arm bars and the guillotines, etc. she can go for. I think her powerful hands are going to cause Randa Markos problems. I think Randa's going to get marked up. She's going to have a rough day in the office, and it's definitely a last fight. And if you think about it, Randa Markos is somehow still in the UFC, and she's potentially got up to like $500,000 in fight money she's fought in the UFC for all the fights she's had. I think a fight, she's on like 33,000 a fight or something. Randa's not silly. She's got all that wedge in her pocket. Take it off into the sunset to Canada and just, retire if she needs to. But dang, that was interesting. But yeah, I can't see Luna losing this fight. The girl's talented, sick skill set. She's going to be a wicked 115er. Great addition to the 115 division. Now, like I just said before, Luna Carolina is fighting a 125 division. My bad on this one. Against Poliana Botelho, sorry. So there you go. I got it mixed up because there's a couple of Carolinas and Lunas. Sorry, no, I got it wrong. Sorry, team. Yeah, shocker. But like I said about Luna Carolina, she's I think she's not a bad fighter at all. I think she cleaned up her striking a bit. It would definitely help her out. I think she could just sharpen her punches a bit more, just bring them a bit tighter. I feel like sometimes if she gets a bit closer and she goes for combinations, they're a bit loose, a bit wild, leaves her chin out. She could definitely tidy that up. Poliana Botelho, on the other hand, Gillian Robertson kind of dominated that fight with the takedowns. And it is a red flag for me for Poliana, big times. I'm on JSP here. Okay, bro, good choice. Jimmy the Drunk, brother, it's great to have you on. I hope you're keeping well. Hope life is treating you well too, brother. Markos had training camps through all COVID. I wonder if it's any better this time around, but UFC probably trying to get the hype for Luna before she let it go. It is. I think that's all it is. They're smart. Let's be honest. They see that Luna's got marketability on the social media side. If they can get her a couple of wins, beautiful stuff. Yeah, for me, Poliana Botelho, big red flag with the takedown grappling kind of exchanges. I think to myself, I think that's something in UFC you got to look at a little bit. Other things, inactivity for the kid, She doesn't fight that often. She signed in 2017 to the UFC. Then she fought in 2018 twice. Then she fought in 2019 once. Then she fought in 2020 once. So in 4 years, she's fighting, she's not even averaging one fight a year. That's another little flag there. You think, what's a training camps like? What's a general lifestyle like? What is going on in the background outside of what's going on in the cage that makes you think what's going on here? The girl can hit. She obviously got that win against Kondo, which was a solid body shot strike. But she can. I don't know if Luna's got the skill set to take people down, really. She's definitely a striker in her own right. I would be taking Poliana down. I think we're going to see a bit of a striking fight in here. Luna knee bar happened in a fight that she had to go in hurt. I'm not sure what injury exactly. Right. Okay. I didn't know about the injury either. Didn't know about that, bro. But she definitely had a sore knee after that. She definitely needed an ice pack, didn't she? Woo-wee. I think you might see a bit of a scrappy fight. I think with Poliana, I want to know what she'll be like for 3 rounds. I think this could go 3 rounds as well. I think Luna might strike it, go standing toe-to-toe, throw some not clean combinations, but kind of high output. You'll see the two of them kind of wear off a little bit in the third. I'd like to see if Luna Carolina can get the takedowns in. That'll make a difference in this fight. I think Poliana's got a bit of an issue for me with activity, which could bring ring rust, could bring tiredness. So not only could her timings be off of her striking, her general fitness or fight fitness could be off. So she could be trying to get into the fight as the fight's going for the first round, trying to get the timings, trying to get smooth. Then what happens is the fight could be aggressive. It could be a high pace. She starts to tire and she'll tire quicker. So not only can she not get the timing, she can't get the fight going. She could be out of sorts. I'm actually going to go with Luna on this one. I think that there is potential in Luna. I just hope she has tidied up the striking. I think maybe the debut, a little bit jittery. She maybe was a bit off with the striking. She's a bit wild with it. But I think there's something in her that could win. I got a couple of red flags with Poliana. I think the fact that she's got a striker helps her for this fight. But, we'll see. 135 division next, and it's a wrestling nightmare for both guys because both of them love takedowns. They love to take each other down. But Cody Stamann is taking on Merab Dvalishvili. Now, we are obviously not going to see a stand-up striking war. I'd be absolutely amazed if we did. Can we see a punch the air for 10 minutes like Barber? We could see a punch the air, brother. And the thing is, she could do like Caitlin Coogan as well, punches the air. She gets the W, so might actually happen, bro. I'm definitely raging straight in. Look at that. Like a viper, mate. Not even waiting. Not even thinking about it. You're all over Merab. Merab all day long. Let me just grab this here quickly. Stretch it. Oh, there we go. Merab all day long. Well, if Merab doesn't go for a takedown, I would be absolutely flabbergasted. The guy's got more takedowns than a $5 haul, right? That guy is insane. Like, the dude, since his fight with, who's Frankie Saenz and Ricky Simone, he definitely feel like he's improved a lot with his Conditioning, I feel like he's improved his takedown options. And when he goes for takedowns, John Dodson fight, I thought he looked superb. Cody Stamann, on the other hand, if you look at his loss against Aljamain Sterling, you kind of saw wicked knee ball by Aljo as well. That knee ball was phenomenal. But what you also saw was that, again, when he fought another wrestler, there was maybe a little bit of difficulty there. You look at Jimmy Rivera fight that Cody had. He had a difficult time in the wrestling game there. Jimmy was able to muscle off the takedowns, was able to reverse. He had a very good battle there. Merab training camp wasn't ideal while Cody been working on his cardio phase for the last 6 months, getting ready for Merab phase. What he noticed is as the big issue in that fight. Yeah, the takedowns are huge, man. Takedowns are a massive part of the game, and the conditioning for takedowns is even bigger. If anyone's ever wrestled before, I've done, I've went and wrestled wrestling training sessions. The wonderful Mike Grundy wrestled the shit out of me, and it was rough, but it's a different level of conditioning, and to do it for 15 minutes constantly, like Merab can do. Even though he gets to takedowns and lets guys up, I think it's something he's starting to add to his game where he's being a bit more logical with the takedown and keeping the fight down. Because if he can keep the fight down for longer, not only does he get more points, it actually is harder for guys getting up. I think he's starting to learn that, appreciate the benefit of keeping guys on the ground, keeping that top game there. Big time here. Here we go. Agree with Jimmy. Merab is going to tire Cody out. These comments are knocking me off, guys. Definitely Raging Mirror probably has the best card in UFC. Anyone else wrestle like 15 minutes. Not even DC could do it. Like, I know they're bigger, but Demetrius Johnson, he didn't always wrestle, though. He mixed it all up. Henry Cejudo didn't even wrestle all the time. I've never seen anyone wrestle that much for 15 minutes, brother. I can kind of get with you on the 15-minute power train, bro. Cody said he never used to wrestle since he did from childhood, but now he did wrestling mainly and condition himself for the Merab grind style. You've got to. Like, I'd probably want to practice for 12 months, 12 years, whatever I can to face someone like Merab. I think that what Cody has, when he's striking's there, he feels a bit more comfortable, but Merab's striking is okay, but it's so wrestling is what he's wanting to go for. Can Cody keep away from the wrestling? Can he stop the wrestling? I'm with a lot of you guys who probably thinks the same. I think it'd be good for the first round. I think it's the second, third round. That's when Merab starts to pull people away, and they're drowning. It's like he drowns them in 1 inch of water. They think they can get that bit of air, and it's not there, and they just can't keep up with it. It's horrendous. Great thing to watch, though, because it literally is saying, I'm going to do this. If you can't keep up, that's not my problem. Tough. I'd love to see how Cody does in the fight for 3 rounds, if it goes 3 rounds, but it's hard to go against. It's hard to go against Merab in this fight, isn't it? It really is. I think it's a pretty slapped on W here for him. I can't see it going anywhere else other than a lovely little Merab win with about 22 takedowns in the rounds. So decision victory there. I'm happy to announce this next fight because it's great to see the guy back again. Let me just quickly note down that time. Sean Strickland is back against Jotko. I was amazed to see Sean Strickland fight so regular so recently after he just kind of went off the boil. 2018 was a ghost. After that, didn't see him for a long time. Middleweight came back. Couple of wins, stepped in short notice, and that was leaps and bounds. And now he's back again after a few months away. Fighting a tough dude in Jotko. Jotko's the kind of guy. Jotko's a similar fighter to Strickland, and what I mean is they're very much decision-based fighters. I know Strickland got his W against Ben Nal, but as a whole, he's very much a decision guy. Picks his shots, is clever about his movement, uses a lot of footwork, Sean Strickland to clear the range. Jotko likes to kind of get you guys like Eric Anders fight, get a grimy fight against like Marc-Andre Barreau as well. Grimy, dirty fight against the cage, underhook battles, get on top if he can. But when it comes to striking, Jotko looked good for a bit. He did have a couple of moments, and I thought, oh, his hands are coming along well. Then he fought the likes like your Branch, your Uriah Halls, your Tavares, and he just didn't do too well. Kind of went off the boil. He came back. He's had a few wins since then, but it's going to be a tough one here. He fucked his knee badly and came back looking great. Yeah, he did, bro. He did. That's what I mean. He kind of went away. And he looked fantastic. I actually didn't know if he was coming back or not. Obviously, he's okay now. And I think one of the factors is him going to middleweight is because of the knee injury. When you're depleting that much of your body, it can cause injuries. It can cause problems for your body. So I think one of the things a lot of fighters do, they see that if they have a bad injury, if you don't cut that weight, you can actually stay healthier for longer. Sean volume is better in a fight, yeah. And at the end where Sean won it, see by the end. Sean decision. Loving it. Losing to Branch is a bad look, faded on that basis. Branch is, I don't know what he was on then as well. He didn't get popped then, I don't think, but he was on Summit all the time, it seems. But Branch, he's an all right fighter. I can't knock him. But Raging and UFC betting, I'm with you, brothers. And ladies and gentlemen, I've got a few people tuning in here, I can see. I'd love to know your picks. Feel free to comment on your picks. It's an open community. The MMA Huddle is not a podcast. We don't grab it and squeeze it and it's ours. It's a community. We want voices in. We want you all to join in, talk about fighting and join each other in conversations. You have a social media platform to talk to each other on. And that's what it really is. It's like a chinwag with your mates, talking about the fights. We put the picks in, we talk about bettings, we talk about it all because it's what we like to enjoy. But for me, Jotko, I just feel like he's not a great middleweight. I think he's going to get decision wins because he does the right things to get decisions. But Sean Strickland, like I said, he's got footwork, which is the key factor in this. He's good at keeping guys on the end of punches. If you go back a bit to when he fought Luke Barnett, if you remember that one, questionable win, but he was great with the range, man. He just kept him on the end of the punches. Jotko, I think the same again. He can keep Jotko on the end of the punches, bait Jotko in, make Jotko go crazy, and trying to maybe open up for something silly. And here you go. Pow, Richard coming up with Jotko chin. Kind of chinny, though. There you go. And if you got Sean Strickland getting that confidence at 185, not cutting himself, not killing his body, feeling healthier, feels like he can go harder and longer, feels like he can punch harder, he might get more out of it. He might be able to hurt Jotko in this fight. I'm kind of on Sean Strickland's side of things, guys and girls. I do feel like he's got the ability to get the W. I think he's got the skills in his hands. I think he's got the footwork. I think Jotko's want to go and try and close the distance against the cage, try to pin him there, try to keep Sean Strickland tight, try to fight him for 3 rounds on there, but it's not going to work. At some point, the referee will pull him apart, or all fights start in the middle of the cage. So it's going to be an interesting one. Can't wait to see it. Now, we've got a fun fight, though, next in the light heavyweight division. A couple of boys who like to bang. I mean, like punch, not. So, Ion Cutelaba against Dustin Jacoby. Now, this is a replacement fight. Jacoby was not meant to fight originally. Or was he? I believe he wasn't meant to fight originally. Who was the one meant to fight? Devin Clark. That was it. It was meant to be Devin Clark stepping in the fight. And then he got injured. Cutelaba is finally being able to put the rest, the insane kind of onslaught that was the Ankalaev battles. It was weird. The fight happened. It went wrong. Then the fights got cancelled, rebooked, cancelled, rebooked, cancelled, rebooked. Then eventually, Ankalaev, they fought and he got schooled, put down, done, sorted. That was put to bed. Because Cutelaba is one of those guys. He is all or nothing. Let's see. Jotko got weird style. Yeah, I don't think it's easy catching him. Cruz. Yeah, because his timing is awkward. It is awkward, bro. That's what I mean. I think that Strickland will just keep on into the punches for most of the round. Just trying to keep that distance, get the strikes landed, avoid the kind of cage work. And that's what I think can get the win for Sean Strickland. Yeah, Cutelaba, he is all or nothing with his striking. Very much that kind of guy. You don't really see Cutelaba voluntarily want to go to a decision. It's not his intention to. If it is like the Jared Cannonier fight, And I've got to admit, that was probably one of the, that was kind of one of the, I want to say scariest fights. It was one of the more telling fights with Cutelaba, because if you remember, Cutelaba went into the fight, hitting hard, cannoneer, took the strikes, punched back, and then kind of second, third round, you just saw Cutelaba's gas tank was not existing anymore. He threw the punches and was landing them, and you could see Cannoneer went, these ain't nothing. These ain't hurting. And he just stood there and he just would shake his head, going, nope, there's nothing in these. You're all puffed out, kid. And then Cannoneer just took control. Cutelaba had to take a 30-second rest while circling to get a combination out, and it still wasn't enough, man. Yeah, Cutelaba uses wrestling. He can win this fight. But who knows with this guy? He's got no fight IQ, has he? Let's be brutally honest. I think I'll play Strickland in a two-team parlay. Not sure I want to play Strickland prop. I don't know what the odds are, Cruz, for Strickland straight prop, but parlaying in, again, is not a bad idea. Back to this one. He's got no fight IQ, like I said. Cutelaba doesn't think with his brain sometimes. And even if he was to wrestle, Dustin wants to strike, and that's all he wants to do. But let's not remember the Maxim Grishin fight. Dustin got hurt a couple of times, man. Got put down his backside. So he's not like he's some worldly striker now that he went away to do some kickboxing and, did handy in that and just went, I'm all right, kickboxing now, I'm awesome. Let's see what I can do in MMA. Don't get me wrong. Did well in Glory. Learned a lot of kickboxing. Did his homework and got the skill set he needed. It's not kickboxing, it's MMA. And the Justin Ledette fight, Justin didn't fight too great. And that one does not do well with leg kicks. Maxim Grissom fight, I thought was a good back and forth battle. Maxim Grissom had a shout for a couple of rounds. Cutelaba, he's quick, powerful at the start, but if you look at the rounds, the fights where Serkinov got him down, and eventually got a submission, the grappling side of things, he was having a rough time with that as the rounds went on. But if you stand in range like Antagulev or De Silva or Roundtree, he can hurt you bad. But the likes of Ankalaev and your Glover Teixeira, these upper echelon guys, they were able to handily finish him off. I think Dustin here has got a chance. I think if Dustin can use the footwork, use the jab, and keep on the edge of the punches, I think Cutelaba might have a tough time. I think he'd be punching thin air. I think he'd be getting hurt in the second, third round, and he could actually get stopped maybe if Dustin is smart with this fight. I just don't know if he is going to be smart. That's the problem, man. Cutelaba's got insane power and pop in his hands. I was torn on this fight. I was kind of flipping because I think I can't trust Cutelaba. Dustin Jacoby, he is a bit iffy to get hit, though. He is, if Jacoby gets out of round one, he's very live. And that's exactly the point. I'm like, can he get away in that first round? Can he get away? Do you know what? I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go and back Dustin. I think he can get out the first round. Let's do it. I'm going to back him up for the W. Why not? Let's go cray, people. If he can get out that round, I think he's in good stead. I think if he used that jab for the first round only, just be smart for the first round, play it safe, let Cutelaba punch thin air. I think he's in for a winner here. I think he should get a W, but again, uber confident. Main event, co-main events, 145 division. I think this is a bit of a setup. Cub Swanson is fighting Giga Chikadze in the 145 division. I'm not overly keen on this fight myself. But then again, other people might be, other people might not. I think that Cub Swanson, 37 years old. He's had a lot of fights. He's clocking up to 40 fights now. He's been with the WEC and the UFC for the longest time. He's fought the highest level guys since 14, 15 years. Lost 4 in a row. Got a win against Kron Gracie, which was not rocket science. Avoided takedowns, land strikes. Did perfect. Kron Gracie thought it'd be a good idea to strike with him. The Pinheiro fight, I thought Daniel Pinheiro, I thought he could have got the win, but he didn't get the win. It is what it is. I thought Pinheiro got sparked there pretty nicely. But for me, I thought Cub looked good in that fight, but I don't have a lot of confidence in Cub Swanson these days. Giga Chikese, he's got the kickboxing background again, like Dustin, but you've got to remember, he has been stopped with submissions. He can get stopped by fighters. Jamal, like if you look at who he's fought in the UFC, Brandon Davis, perfect opponent, striker. So we got to win there. Jamal Emmers, not exciting. 2 split decisions. Anyway, Irwin Rivera, that was a meh fight. He was fighting like a little dwarf, I thought, at one point. Omar Morales, good win there. Good fight, good scrap. But again, Jamie Simmons, not a fight anyone's ever going to remember. Jamie Simmons isn't a fighter anyone's ever going to remember. But it's a bit of a jump up, Cub Swanson, in the same breath. You know, Cub Swanson still is a high level kind of opponent. But I just would like to see Cub Swanson use wrestling in this fight because Giga's got a hole in his game. The UFC have not given him any decent wrestlers, any decent grapplers. It blows my mind that they haven't bothered. You know, it's so annoying. Going to be in the vast minority, but I'm fading Giga. Something in that Emma's fight tells me a fighter that mixes wrestling well, stand-up, will give Giga trouble. No, he will, bro. Absolutely. But Cub, can we trust Cub to put wrestling into his game in this fight? Can we? How do you rate Giga's get up game if Cub grapples? I can't rate it because we've not seen it enough, but I don't think it's going to be that great. But Cub doesn't use the wrestling game enough, in my opinion. I think Cub could be a lot more smart with his fights that he's lost. Maybe incorporate a bit more wrestling. But he has this thing where he clings on to wrestling too much, striking too much. A lot of fighters do when they fall in love with the strike and they kind of forget that it's MMA and they can mix it up. And Giga's the kind of guy you mix it up against. You know, Jamal had success in the grappling, but yeah, it took him to the 3rd round till he could use it. That's the thing. Like, I think that Cub's got a better strike range, a better strike range than Giga's previous opponents. So he could apply better striking, but he's also hittable. Cub's very hittable. I think we've all seen it over the years. So he could get hurt. I think Cub, though, if he uses the striking wisely with takedowns, he could get this win. He could put Giga's head in a mixed position of, I don't know what's coming. I don't know if I should strike. I don't know if I should counter. Because is Cub going to strike and take me down? What is he going to do? You need to make Giga think about what's going on. You cannot sit there and just strike with Giga because he's going to be open to hit you. He's going to have his way with you. He's going to have the advantage in that kind of side of things. I think, though, that if you give Giga someone like Sadiq Youssef, he might have problems with the power that Sadiq could have. I think Cub will grapple for the pure reason that Giga threat and range strike will be a problem to solve on the feet. That's what I've got to, in my heart, I hope he does. I just don't want Cub to get the kind of macho mindset of he's striker. Everyone thinks that I've got good strike. I'm going to be the better striker. Striking battle, I'm going to be the better striker. I reckon I've got better striking in. What is the point? MMA is about applying the strongest skill set that you have to beat your opponent. You don't sit there. If you go, right, I know I've got wrestling, and I know he's wrestling, ain't no my wrestling, so I'm going to take him down, try to submit him, or ground and pound him. Because especially if you can tire Giga out with the grappling, that might even be even better for him. You might land more strikes. Giga might have his hands down a bit lower to open him up for more strikes. All you have to do is give a decent guide to Giga with wrestling takedowns. And I think Giga's going to have a hole in his game ripped wide open, and everyone will start seeing a blueprint. Kind of like Kevin Holland. There's a blueprint there. Beat it. And I think Giga's obviously worked in his wrestling, but I don't think in the fights he can handle it. Cub interviews maybe give us a better idea of what he plans. Yeah, maybe the questions, well, if people put the right questions to him. I want to put my faith in Cub Swanson just because there's something about Giga I'm not overly impressed about. I'm just not I'm not a fan of his. I don't know what it is about Giga. Maybe his manager as well, being, the terrorist. But I'm going to go with Cub because I've always, I loved Cub Swanson for years, like as a fighter. And when he had that run, when he was and he beat Jeremy Stevens, and he had to fight Frankie Edgar and got stopped in the 5th round near the end, devastated. I was just so happy for him, seeing how well he was performing. That stoppage of Charles Oliveira, the Dustin Poirier decision. When he had that little run, he was great, And Cub Swanson's he's a likable person, great wee fighter. Man, I'm gonna go with Cub Swanson on this. Not overly confident on Cub these days because it's hard to be confident on a Cub when he's fighting like he is sometimes, especially with the run he's had. But part of me just is not even being. I'm just being a bit biased. Bollocks to it. I'm being biased people. Next up, we have in the main event 205 division, Dominic Reyes is coming in against a man who is a machine, a destroyer, Jiri Prochazka, he is an absolute monster. Dude is savage. Comes in on his debut against Volkan Oezdemir and looked fantastic. Hands were down, bit confident with the range. Landed a couple of strikes, used footwork to get out of there, but then landed that lovely 1-2 combination. The overhand right landed clean. Volkan Oezdemir went to sleep in no time. Excuse the pun. 4 ex-UFC guys, ex-Bellator guys in Rizin. Absolutely handled them very well. Dude is just a bad man. He lost to Mo Lawler back in 2015, came back, bounced back and finished him off. Beat Darko Stozic as well back in the day, if you look at that name. So the dude's fought some top-level guys, 205, and he's on just a great tear. He's got an insane amount of confidence. When you've been on a run since 2016 and not lost for 5 years, and you're stopping dudes all the time with your hands, it's like, how can you not have confidence in this, man? Spiral Shorty, great to have you comment on this, brother. I think it's the first time you commented on the podcast. Great to have you join us and tune in. If you're new, please feel free and hopefully you'll subscribe and give us a like, my friend. Much appreciated. Second round, TKO by Spiral Shorty. Powerful decision straight there. Not only does he pick his fighter, he picks the round as well. Like it. The 90s, 50-50. I don't think it goes a distance somehow. Your 5-round fight, I don't think it goes distance, brother. I don't think it goes distance. Probably play Jury's KO prop. Richard, what is the prop KO numbers? Feel free to pop them in the comments so people at home know what's going down with that. Jury's striking in time is so awkward. It is a bit unorthodox. I don't think Reyes saw anything like that before, and he may struggle with his unusual striking. Reyes is too green. He is a bit classical with his striking, and definitely raging. Both have similar strengths, footwork, straight shots, but I give Jury the edge in power. Plus, Reyes' confidence might be a little shook these days. Well, he was uber confident, wasn't he, in his last fight, Reyes, when in relation to Blachowicz. It was a big Billy Big Bollocks. Pretty much felt like he'd won already, and Polish Power knocked his ass clean out. Reyes, don't get me wrong, folks. It's good to have confidence. It's good to believe in yourself. It's good to think you're the best and you're going to win. You need to have that confidence, but I think he was a bit above himself. And then have you seen Jury's new haircut? I have not. And suddenly, I want to see it. I will be going straight onto Instagram maybe and have a look at that. Boys, hey what, bro? Good to have you in. He is a bit of a psychopath. He is, and I like that about him. I can't deny. Brother, oh my gosh, I am going to try to say this name, but please do not have a go at me. Alez Rejuric. Great to have you on the UFC, on the MMA Huddle breakdown for the UFC card. I believe it's your first comment as well, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new as well. Everything counts. If you want to, feel free to comment in future weeks. We'd love to have you join in the conversation, my friend. The only people who doubt Prochazka are those who don't know him. I agree. Yeah, I followed him on outside of Europe, outside the UFC, especially when Risen and he was kicking ass there. I just kind of went, that dude is coming to the UFC at one point when we did not know. Not out yet. Right. Cool. That's cool, Richard. I'm proud to be from same country as Jiri. Oh, he is so respectful. Nice. Oh, there we go. We've got a homegrown boy. It's Croatia, isn't he from? Is he from Croatia? Yeah, Czech Republic. Czech Republic, sorry. Czech Republic. I knew it was a C. Czech Republic. There you go. I'll tell you what, brother. Czech Republic had a fantastic football team with Karol Poporsky. Remember back in the day, I'm sure that was Karol Poporsky played Czech Republic. Oh, fantastic. Both Jiri and Reyes get wobbled a lot. Yeah, Jiri has been wobbled in the past. I agree. He has. It's his style of fighting that it kind of can open himself up to getting hit. But I worry if Jiri's orthodox. Reyes will throw left high kicks. If you're fighting a striker, guys and girls, if you're watching this and you've not ever done striker or anything like that, if you know your opponent, it depends if they're orthodox or southpaw. If you're fighting a guy and you know their power hand, if you're like say for example you're orthodox, which means your left foot's forward and your right foot's back, and you're fighting a southpaw where they're the opposite with the right foot forward, you've got to be careful because what they'll try to do is they will throw the head kicks to hit your power hand, which means you block him with your arm. If you're blocking head kicks, it means you're not popping that punch out. And when you're taking the brunt of the kick on your arms, it deadens the arms a bit. It makes him a little bit weaker. It takes a little bit of the pop out. If Reyes is smart enough to do that, he could absolutely do that. Now, don't get me wrong. He got the W against Chris Weidman, the 205 win. And I wasn't overly blown away by that. He got a split by decision by Volkan Oezdemir. And I was a bit like, The UFC hyped him up big time. Of course, they're going to hype him up for the John Jones fight. They have to make it look like someone could beat John Jones. And John Jones kind of handedly won. He didn't. I know people debate the win, but John Jones didn't even look like he was putting everything in that fight. Again, it's annoying. I feel like John Jones wants to put everything into the fight if it's worthy to him. If the opponent is worthy, if there's something in it. And that's why I think going to the heavyweight division is something for him. New lease of life, new goals, new targets. But then when he fought Jan Blachowicz, again, Reyes uber confident, uber cocky, and just got absolutely mullered by the Jan Blachowicz power, man. I think Reyes here, he's got the hand power. He can strike. Don't get me wrong. He's got some good skill sets. But like people have said before, he is a little bit questionable. Pavel Nedved, the Czech GOAT, played for Juventus. Nedved was an insane player. Oh, mate, what a great one that is. Pavel Nedved hitting out the park. Oh, that dude was class. That was when Alessandro Del Piero was playing for Juve. Yeah, good days there. Did you know that? Here we go. Slogan is Bombi Jack Piga. In translation, it means punches like a pussy. You're having a laugh. You're joking. Is that for real? That's epic. I'm so happy I know that spiral shot. You're the man for posting that. That's epic, bro. Oh, how can you not love that? Punch like a pussy. Oh, that's so good, man. Bombi Jack Picker. Bombi Jack Picker. Okay. I like this. Been to Prague 3 times. Now, Moyes, were you there to see the sights? Or were you there to drink lots of booze? I reckon you were there to drink lager, and lager. Am I right or am I right? I'm going to put it out there. Jiri, Strickland, Merab, Parlay, wish me luck. Definitely raging. That is a solid 3 triple threat there, bro. I'm with you. I think that's a great pick. And I am kind of going the Jiri way. I think that confidence is high on him. He's got power in his hands. I think he can surprise Dominic Reyes as well with his speed and his footwork. And I think, like you say, Dominic Reyes needs to maybe go back, take a bit of a, what's the word I want to use? Humble pie, is it come? Yeah, he had a bit of humble pie. He has to take as well on the chin that he's not the greatest. He has to learn still. And maybe he did get shot up through the ranks a bit quicker than maybe he wanted to, but at the same time, when he was putting the performances in that he did, got a couple of stoppages here and there. It was fair play, but I think when he got the decision win over OSP and Volkan, and I still would have maybe given him another test before the UFC title fight, but they gave him Chris Weidman as a test. that was a far simpler win. I think there's a lot of guys at 205 that would batter Chris Weidman at 205. I don't think Chris Weidman's that good at 205. Like 185, he's still not good. Like, come on now, blinking heck. Here we go. Audio related. Visited Dr. Crone. Ah, right, okay. Audio related. I'll go with that one. Of Crone Audio Labs. Oh, that's actually. Oh, so it work. Fair enough. That's cool though. All right, I just thought basically it was free stag do's because it seems to be like to hit the stag do's, brother. Oh, here we go. Comment about the Stamann. Stamann tied in second round against Aljo. He did, yeah. I doubt he can keep up with Merab. Merab just put a different world of pace. Now, my friend, thank you for commenting. This is the first comment we've had from you on the podcast. Welcome to the MMA Huddle. It's great to have you on board. I am going to put it out there. I couldn't even say your name. Even if I had a gun to my head right now, I couldn't pronounce that name for the love of money. Only because I don't know, my friend, the symbols that are used there. I'm not sure what that is. So I'm going to call you friend. If you feel free to put your name in the description, I will happily say your name out loud, but I can't. But thank you for joining in. If you're new to the channel, if it's the first time you've actually commented or new, hit that subscribe button and like the channel. It's always great to have people on board and join us. Is there a live crowd again, or is it behind closed doors? I believe it's still closed doors in Vegas. It's not Dana's not decided yet on what they're doing about other areas. He talked about Arizona for the next pay-per-view, I think it was. But again, that is on the basis on he said that we won't go there if it's not full capacity. So if it's only, like you said, if it's only 20, 30, 50, 60% capacity, he's not doing it. He'll just go back to Vegas. And he has hinted at doing live crowds every week in Vegas, if that's the in Florida, sorry, if that's the case, until the other areas open up. But again, I don't think it'll be too long until they open up. For example, in America, you've got the NFL. That's a big amount of money that not have people in the stadiums. I think by September, there's no way they're not going to have people in the crowd. So I wouldn't see it being too long till they do it. If live crowd consider fading debuting fighters, maybe a killing doing that Saturday. I'd be surprised if it's crowds there. I don't believe it is. It's at Apex, no crowd. There you go, Moisey. That's it, brother. It's all right. Call me Samuel. Samuel, thank you very much. Great to have you on board. Great to have you on board and join the conversation, friend. We hope we don't go back to Jacksonville. The judges just were. That was rough, wasn't it? Jacksonville judging. Woo! Their judging was worse than their football team. It was shocking. I couldn't get my head around it. I tell you that they killed so many bets. I think all the bookies want them to go back into Jacksonville. That was a rough night in the office. But yeah, Dominic Reyes, I think he's going to have a tough time in this fight. I think it's not for me, that's an awful one to come back with. If I'm Dominic Reyes, I'm not saying I want, but you'd certainly hope you would have gone to get someone a bit different than this. But UFC, they're going to push Jiri because he's fought a lot of guys high level for a long period of time on a great win streak. You know, they might give, yeah, I think Jiri's got it. I think he's got it in. I think he's got a chance here to get a solid opportunity, a solid win. I think he's fought 3 rounds. Not for a while. He's only fought 2 rounds back in 2016. Dude's not gone 5 rounds, so it's going to be a big one. If it goes 5, I'm going to love to see how they all look at how he looks in the later rounds. But I don't know if it'll go that far. I think the dude can absolutely kill it earlier on. So yeah, I'm going to go with Jiri here. I think he can actually cause problems for Dominic Reyes. I think Reyes is going to have a rough day in the office, bro. I see it. Yeah, Stefan Salukic, won that fight, man. Yes, I agree. And I'm fuming. So that's not bang. It's bang out of order, man. He did win that fight. Bang out of order. Espinosa and Penne were worse. Yeah. Yeah, they were actually. Yeah, those decisions were shocking. The Espinosa one, yeah, that was rough. But it's Penne, innit? It's Penne. It's Penne. Come on. You need to go. Penne, come on. But what I'll do is now I will jump on to the betting side, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm going to shoot out the odds for the card coming up. Again, if you've got any cards, feel free to jump in. Let us know what you're thinking. Roy McDonald fighting again this week, PFL. Yeah, the Red King is back. Yeah, it's cool to see him fighting, man. I love watching Roy McDonald. It's just a just a great guy, isn't he? Let's be honest with you. Let's just thank you for him, for the violence he brought us as well. Like, geez, man, he just devastating power, devastating man. And he can mess dudes up like there's no tomorrow, man. Then the week after, you got Verdun fighting again. He's back. Kayla Harrison is fighting. I couldn't care less about her. They literally give in that division to her because there isn't a division there. But yeah, Curtis Melinda stepping in to face him as well, man. It's a interesting matchup. I think Curtis Melinda's not a bad fighter. I just think it's a suitable fight for Rory here. Definitely a winnable fight. But we've seen there that even like Lance Palmer lost in the PFL. There's holes there for guys to lose, opportunities for them to not win. So there's no sure bet that Rory McDonald wins this, but he's definitely got a chance. You've got Gleason Tebow fighting again. He's on a 170. There's no way that dude's back at 155. So there's a handful of Chris Camosi's on there, Tom Lawler, Antonio Carlos Jr., Vinny Magalesh, Cesar Ferreira. Yeah, ton of dudes are fighting. On the PFL card. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what that goes. When's that card on? Thursday the 29th. There you go. Ray Cooper III is going on against it. So ton of guys out there in that fight card, guys. So PFL, they're putting on some shows. I love watching fights, man. How big chance is Dominic Reyes? He is 12-0 before his last two fights. I think he will be super motivated, but I'm with Jiri here. Bro, Spiral, I'm with the pussy punches, man. I think that even though he's 12-0, it doesn't necessarily mean that he can't get beat. It seems like Jiri's got more experience. I think he's probably fought collectively the stronger opponents over time. And he's just a devastating man. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Hope Jiri has a different game plan. He was reckless against Volkan. I think he could afford to be a little bit because Volkan's speed was one of the letdowns for Volkan. He just wasn't quick enough to get there to him. He was close, but he wasn't as close. I'm never surprised when a female prospect doesn't pan out. They throw them in there with 5 to 6 wins against vets. Bro, NBC, they do, mate, don't they? It's annoying. I don't get it. I don't understand. I understand the division isn't deep, but at the same time, don't sign these fighters that are 3 and 5 and 6 wins. You've got Invicta FC for a reason. Invicta FC helps girls develop against regional girls or girls from other countries. It brings a high level to the girls' up game. It builds them up. UFC signs them on. I reckon when they're about 8 to 10 fights, I think the UFC shouldn't touch anyone Invicta until they're at least 8 fights in to their career, pro fights. Because like you see, these 5, they're just too green. Their skill set's weak. Their condition's not right. They still need that assistance. So I'm with you on that one. I think Pinheiro is a different story. Pinheiro is definitely a killer. That girl is badass. She is going to kick ass. People are going to stare at her ass. She's going to get a lot of likes on Instagram. That girl's devastating. Swanson, Tenzi Terry. I believe I have to welcome you to the channel too. I believe you're a new viewer. Pleasure to have you on. If you're new, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, brother. But is that a parlay you're going for with those? Well, not a parlay, but going for those little free picks. Swanson, Jiri, that's really Strickland. The Swanson one, I would, if I'm putting money on Swanson, it's a bit dubious, but I hope it pays off. If you're putting a bet on all 4 of them together, if that comes in, mate, that little accumulator is a sick little number there, brother. And I hope you get that. I hope you get paid, and I hope you get wedged. Thomas, Monster Energy. I had a Monster Energy today, Thomas. BJP, yeah. Prochazka to win. Brother, the Pussy Puncher, I think he will win. I think he will beat Dominic Reyes. I think his game plan might be different. I think he'll still obviously strike. I think he might just approach the striking game a bit differently. Because it's 5 rounds, he might have to pace it a bit different. He might have to bait Reyes in a bit more. But I can't wait for that fight. I think it's a tremendous 205 fight. And Thomas, I don't believe I've seen your comment before on the page. Feel free again, brother, to subscribe for future comments. I'd love to have you back next week for the breakdowns to come in and join the conversations. It's always important to have everyone. Samuel, what are you going out there? That recently signed Miranda Maverick. Gal is awesome. Miranda Maverick is a girl with a lot of potential, and she has got a great skill set, brother. I agree. She's got a lot in her, and she can do a lot. Strickland, Jiri, plus 152. Plus money on it. Get on it like a fly on shit. That is great money, brother. I love it. I think Barber is dog. There's a dog. Live. Let's have a look at these odds. I did say we want to look at the odds. I mean, gassing. Sorry about that. Let's have a look at these odds, guys and girls. Felipe Colares is plus 170. Luke Sanders minus 200. Again, you guys are a bit dubious on Sanders still. He's a bit chinny, but I think it's safe bet that one. Benítez minus 210. Jonathan Pearce plus 175. Fair enough. Michailidis minus 250. Bhullar plus 200. I would have liked that. I've been a bit closer myself, but that's a bit strong. Markos plus 155 and Luna Pinheiro is minus 190. You want to get on that now because I think that line's only going to go up for Luna Pinheiro, definitely in this one. TJ Brown is a good dog. I want to see his odds in a second, brother. So Sam Hughes plus 300. Luma is minus 360. We're going to avoid that one. TJ plus 135. Yeah, that's good. And Kamaka is minus 165. I think some more money might come in for Kamaka during the week, maybe as well. I think his numbers might go up in TJ's, might go a bit higher. If you're looking for a dog, it's not a bad dog money. Cody is plus 190 and Merab is minus 240. Minus 240. Yeah, you definitely need to use the parlays with those ones for 240s. Giga is minus 210. Cub is plus 165. So if you're wanting to Cub Swanson money, you're immediately getting a plus on him. So if you put him in the parlays, it's going to boost your monies up. Cutelaba is minus 130 and Jacoby's plus 110. Good dog money on Jacoby. Well, I did pick him, and I know a few other people are looking at him as well. Jotko plus 210. Strickland minus 250. That's heavy, but fair enough. Botelho and Carolina. Botelho is minus 220. Luna Carolina is plus 175. I picked Carolina because I think that maybe the couple of red flags from Botelho with the takedown defense and the top game control, which isn't the best on her back, and also the infrequency of fighting. There was a couple of red flags there. I think she's a solid fighter. I just think Carolina can maybe take advantage of these little flags there and these little kind of holes in the game. But at 175, it's a good dog money. But look at this. Dominic Reyes, plus 125. Jiri is minus 145. So 145 is great odds. They're tremendous if you're going for it, especially like you said, guys and girls, if you're going to parlay in with other people, you're starting to get those plus numbers straight away. And as we always say on the channel, bet responsibly, bet within your means, don't go crazy, have fun with it. You know, DraftKings, if you do DraftKings, jump on that. It's something me and Will need to get going in a way with that. In context of talking about DraftKings and getting on here a bit more. But there's a lot in the pipeline, background, me and Will stuff. So, look, great podcast. It's been tremendous having every one of you tuning in this week. Thank you all. High numbers, high comments. You're all beautiful, wonderful people. I hope you enjoyed the podcast this week. I love the community that we have. It means a lot to me and Will. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. I'll be back next week, certainly. Will be back as soon as he can, if that counts. Like I said, he's going to be a dad again with a little one on the way. So exciting times. But the next week we have Corey Sandhagen against TJ Dillashaw. What? TJ Dillashaw's back against Corey Sandhagen. And there's a handful of good fights on that card. I'll be breaking that down next week. But look, as a whole, take care of yourselves. I love you all. Be friends. Look after each other. Support each other. Talk to each other. COVID can kiss my dick. Expecting fight of the night for Cub versus Giga. Samuel, take care, brother. Better line. Release Kate. Oh, Jari plus 100. Jump on that, Richard. Thank you very much for that line there. Thanks for making a look this weekend for everyone. Yes, UFC bet experience. Take care, brother. You too. I love you all. Good luck. Yeah. Have a great night, everyone. Next week going to be good. Thanks, John. Stay safe. Tenzi, join in next week. Join in more. Join in all of you. Take care. I love you all. Mwah.